Rounak, how are you?
I'm good, man. What about you?
I'm good. Welcome to Build Pod.
Thank you so much.
So how was your day?
It was fascinating. Yeah, Vizag is really, really beautiful.
Man, I wish you stayed longer.
I also wish the same. Some urgent work. I have to leave for some family commitments, some business work as well.
Family commitments, really? Where were you last week?
Last week I was out for work. Yeah.
Where?
I was for a conference in Thailand.
Thailand. For a conference.
It was a Harvard University conference. Trust me.
Okay, what is the conference about actually?
So it's a leadership conference. It's called Harvard A-Conf, Asia Conference.
Okay.
So it's a leadership conference with the emerging leaders from from Asia, but people across the globe come as delegates.
Okay.
So I just randomly applied. It's a Harvard thing.
So what's the target audience of this conference, and what do they aim to do with the?
So what I saw is that the majority of the audience were young people who are entrepreneurial. Some are in some other industries as well who want to learn about entrepreneurship, or few people were for the Harvard name as well. So it's how it works, and they have to also get the money for the conference. So it was interesting. So I applied and I just randomly got accepted with a scholarship.
Okay.
So I went there. They let me give a speech also. So the talk it's more about it's like TEDx. It's called HPRX. There were like 4 people got selected. I was one of them. So I talked about the whole journey of how I built ProjectX and everything.
Okay.
And that was really, really awesome. Yeah, there were people from across the globe. I met like so many new friends. Exciting, like crazy experience, man.
Rounak, we have been friends for a long time, but I always wondered how did ProjectX.Cloud start? And if you mind, could you also explain what it does? Like how it started as an idea to what it is now? Like, can you explain all of it?
It's a web-based computer platform and like people know, but the starting journey is actually quite interesting. So you have been to my house as well. So it's a small village. You have seen that,
yes.
So 10-15 years back, it was, more backward with more like right now though it's a bit developed, but the thing that happened is that in the village only, our house had a computer, a very old computer. So I used to,
Is it Toshiba?
No, it was a like PC with a big screen, the big PCs. I used to test its limits, I used to test its limits. My friend used to come over. We used to play games like GTA hota tha na, like Vice City, bro. So
Vice City Bengal.
Vice City Bengal, bro. That's a different story, bro. That's a crazy game. I used to play games, but it after a certain point of time it stopped supporting games and all. So I forcefully installed Windows 7, then 10. It was like it barely worked. So a lot of my friends who are not that privileged, if I might say so, they learned how to use computers. And later on I realized that computational literacy can make a lot of difference in the modern age. If we talk about employment, or we know how the employment scenario is in India, globally actually. So in my college I saw people were having the same issues with laptops. They can't run this, they can't run that, they have certain hardware limitations. And I had that big pain point from my childhood as well. I used to push the computer's limit, yet I couldn't get anything done. So, and if I tell my dad that buy me a new computer, he'll be like, just fuck off, man. Doesn't make sense.
He's from a different background altogether and does not understand the importance of.
No, he's from an IT background, but
yeah,
he is from an IT background. That's why we had a computer in the house, right?
Okay.
But he didn't he's like, पढ़ाई करो भाई, क्या game खेलना है तेरे को? So it doesn't make any sense. But later on, I learned most of the things myself alone in the computers only. I used to install custom ROMs in mobile phones, do shit. Yeah, it was fun. So college mein, it was a different use case altogether. People wanted to upskill themselves, get a job, but they were facing the same issues. Even young professionals who want to switch jobs. I talked to a lot of people,
yes,
across different domains. It's LPU is a very big university itself. So different departments, I talked to friends. They had more or less the same issues. Then when I went to IIT Bombay, bro, I thought that's like such a flagship place, but the issue persisted there as well. And maze ki baat, bhai, when I went to Princeton this April, I thought it's a Ivy League university, bro. Things will be crazy. The guys had good computers compared to the Indian guys.
Yes.
But he also had a MacBook. I also had a MacBook. The same issues we are facing. We can't run Windows apps. We can't
Could
play
you be
games.
very specific on what kind of issues you're talking about?
So let me be contextual first. So I was talking to a guy in a tier 2 college, tier 3 college in West Bengal.
Hmm.
So he's an electrical engineering degree. He's pursuing that, and dude wanted to learn Android development, do freelancing, earn some money, because electrical mein to, you have to like learn other stuffs, and you have to get the conventional job. He wanted to earn some quick cash. So he had a Lenovo IdeaPad, if I'm not wrong. It cost around 35,000. He told me.
Okay.
It was a very random location. हम लोग पार्क में क्रिकेट खेल रहे थे भाई. तब वो आया बंदा ऐसे बात कर रहा था. I read about it and all. So he wanted to run Android Studio. फिर he said his laptop can't do it.
Okay.
And then he told me if I could help and all. I was like, yeah. Infinity में चलता है. I gave him the access free में. He's using it.
Okay.
A lot of other use cases as well. I met a girl from IISc Bangalore. Like I didn't meet actually. We gave a forum, circulated that, and in a conference, and she wrote back. So, like she had an old computer, laptop actually. She couldn't do heavy browsing if she opened more than 10-12 tabs. The laptop used to it's an issue with many people. Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's a low-end computer.
And another use case that I saw in the developed countries was that accessibility. So there are conventional cloud solutions like AWS, GCP, the core infra solutions, जहाँ पे production grade के.
Hey Rounak, so before we skip to the big tech giants like AWS and Google Cloud, so could you tell me a little bit about how Infinity OS basically started? Like how did you come up with the idea and how it productized and become? How did you launch the beta version and all?
Okay, so yeah, I'll just finish this and I'll come there.
Okay.
हाँ, so क्या होता है कि accessibility का जो issue है ना, वो बहुत बड़ा है कि those companies target audience are very different. They want to target companies जहाँ पे they want to run production grade things on the servers, but for the end user compute there is no good solution. And I identified that when I was child, when I grew up, people weren't using. There are other VM options available, so I thought we have to build something that's very, very easy to access, and that is very easy on your pockets as well. So that's how I did research. Initially, though, I wanted to make a laptop, bro, with like Infinity on it, Infinity OS check them, laga do, and sell the laptops. But then I understood it has a lot of scalability issues as well. We want to make the friction as low as possible. So then we, moved to a web-based model where anybody on any platform could use it. Guys who have Macs doesn't need to, buy a laptop. They could access the applications they want on what, at just for a few bucks. Basically, and the guys who are having low-end computers, they can get their things done as easy as possible in like few clicks. So there is no need to use a credit card and stuff, buy have a bill and all. So it's this easy. That's how we pivoted initially, and then after the pivot only we got the I won't call it success, but some traction that started getting a loan. We got selected for Launchpad at IIM Bangalore and SRCell.
Okay.
We got selected for NVIDIA Inception. Then we got I got the first grant. I still remember, I spent all my money that I had earned working as a freelancer or a consultant, whatever you say. Consultant is a posh word. So basically I was doing freelancing, tech freelancing. So I burnt all the money I had. To build it. I felt such a big pain.
Where did you burn the money exactly?
A lot of things, yeah. Mostly on travel.
Okay.
I knew nothing about entrepreneurship, so I saw any good event anywhere. I just filled out the form, went there, met people, got the idea, validated. A lot of things happen. I learned a lot of things. I took a lot of punches on the face to understand what it takes to build a company. It's very important. That no school teaches you, no course teaches you. That was very important. And I participated in a lot of pitching competitions, a lot of places. We got selected for Seed Stars at IIT Bombay, Idea Storm at IIT Roorkee, Disrupt at IIT Guwahati, a lot of other. I was the champion of GSE at Kolkata.
Oh.
Yeah, Ritesh Agarwal gave us, I think, some money, like 1 lakh rupees. Then a lot of stuff's happened. And the first money as a grant, so as I was saying that I had exhausted. So while I was focusing on building Infinity, I had to give up on that because I, as a single person, can't do it. So I was burning money and it was a point where I had to expand the team as well, but I couldn't afford it. I had applied for the Ministry of Electronics and IT grant at IIT Patna. All of a sudden, I saw a mail that you have been selected.
Okay.
I just cried. I just woke up, saw the email, hugged my mom, and like, we got funding. And then subsequently, we got more funds.
Yes.
That validation worked, and now to IIT Bombay is doing a paid pilot with us.
Okay.
So that's a good validation, I believe. And then things just went on the right way, and we kept on validating every step. Like, we kept on talking to users about what they need. Because one thing I believe and I have realized is that initially I wasted a lot of time on building the product I love. You have to love the problem, not the solution.
Yes.
So I fell in love with the problem, and then all these hurdles felt like part of the journey. So there is no end point that, ye nahi chala to kya hoga? That doesn't work out. So that's how, and then we built a very resilient team, as you know. A lot of senior folks working like industry giants.
So Rounak, before you hop in all the way to the the end of the good part, the end of everything, I would like to know a little bit about the magic sauce here, like how the micro architecture of ProjectX.Cloud, the magic sauce is
Microservices
different.
architecture.
Yes, is how is it different from AWS? Like what gives ProjectX.Cloud its magic, the
With high
uniqueness, USP?
controversy. See, I can't disclose everything. It's not, see, this is a very unique approach towards end user computing, I would say. So we are using a technology, as I was saying, that it's a microservice architecture model. So we are segmentizing the application into different classes and running each applications independently.
Okay.
So if you're running a virtual machine on the cloud, it's quite complicated. You have to set that up and do this, do that.
Yes.
And if you're not using its full capacity, suppose you take a VM for like 8 GB RAM, or 2 GB VRAM, and if you're not utilizing that or you want to upgrade, it's quite difficult, right?
Yes.
Infinity, since you're using single application, you're paying for just your using, and you can, if you're up, increasing its capacity also, you're just burning more credits. As simple as that. You exhaust your credits, a normal UPI scanner pops up, just how you buy chips, buy cold drinks at a tea shop. You'll just buy your compute. As simple as that. यही goal था कि इतना simple बनाना कि, because for a developing nation like India, Southeast Asia, हम ले ले, in any region on the world, this is a major hurdle. So that is something, that's why we got selected as India's best student startup at Eureka IIT Bombay. We won the World Trade Center Innovation Award and represented India at Tiger Launch, which is the world's largest student-run entrepreneurship competition by University of Princeton. So they gave us a full ride scholarship, and went there, represented India, and there only I validated that it's a big issue. Yeah. Then I made a team with some guys in UC Berkeley. So we have a team now in California as well, who are working with us. A lot of US investors showed interest in us. Indian investors also. So that part I'll come in later on. So that's a bit controversial part, but yeah, that's how things went on.
So at the end of the day, all the computing, whatever the processing needs to be done, the graphic processing needs to be done, it ends up in a server by AWS or a GPU given by NVIDIA. Like, how does the business model work?
Business model is quite simple, yeah. See, you have a server anywhere, no matter whose server, Google, Amazon, some other company, XYZ. We typically don't tend to use these legacy solutions because they are built for large enterprises who want to do very high intensive computing for their production grade servers.
But don't you think even you will be at one of those companies once you scale up?
Not really.
How?
Because we are focusing on the end user compute. The guy who is building the server, let him build the server on Infinity using that, because that also requires some compute power, bro. A lot of compute power, and then they can host it on whatever server they like. It's end user computing में ही problem है, वही हम लोग fix कर रहे हैं basically. You got my point, right? If you have questions, you can ask. Like, if you have want more clarification
I'm just
regarding that?
wondering what stops, once you become, I don't know, like a 100 billion revenue company, not 100 billion, ज़्यादा हो गया, a 5 billion, $10 billion का revenue में enter कर रहे हो. Google, AWS, all these tech giants will start taking notice of your presence. Start, noticing that there's a player coming to the market, and
Of
what
course.
starts them from literally integrating an application or a software into their platforms. They have a great teams. They have
They
great
have. They
this
have.
thing. So, how are you going to sustain or fight that battle, or do you think it's something so unique that can't be copied by them?
There are a lot of things. If I talk about facts, every generation, one company has surpassed another legacy company.
Yes,
This is how world works.
yes,
That's what history has taught us. I'm not going into that. It would be a bit arrogant to claim that, or proclaim ourselves as the next big things. But what stops them? Nothing. Maybe once somebody uses it, they might assume what might be working behind this. But I don't believe that first mover advantage people do that, then other companies won't get that benefit. Not like this. Awkward was there. Facebook came. Facebook made the difference. It's about very very specific decisions at certain times that take your company to the other level. And the most important thing that I believe is customer satisfaction. You know, we can't be a herd of sheep that everybody is building the same solution. We need to specifically understand for whom we are solving. As I said, that we have a specific customer, personas, specific problems, specific niches, and then we are generalizing on that. You need a very strong customer base who loves the product. If somebody doesn't love your product, there's no point in building this. Facebook strategically acquired. Once we have 100 billion, $200 billion, even valuation, we can innovate more on our product. Companies do strategic acquisitions as well. It depends on how the macro conditions of the market are, how the demands of the users are. Now people are running after AI. If you look, Nvidia's stocks fell by 30%, if I'm not wrong, recently. Very recently.
yes.
In one
$10
day.
billion.
$10 billion.
Lost 10 billion. The company fell by, I think, 20 or 20. I'm not sure. It's
Yeah,
Zinzang's net
$10
worth
billion,
went-
$10
yeah.
billion dollar, I think.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure about the number as well. Yeah, so I saw read somewhere. So it depends. It's very easy to assume that somebody might copy this, copy that, but it's ultimately in the hands of the users. How you strategically position yourself, as I said, how satisfied your customers are. It's very very difficult to assume all these things. So you can just do the right thing, making the best thing you can do, keeping your customers happy, and not stop at a point, like stop innovating after a certain point of time. That happens with large enterprises, that they become very stagnant. For a single decision to be taken, a lot of tables,
Yes. It has to go through a lot of hierarchies.
a lot of hierarchies. That's something that startups mein nahi hota hai. So that's why startups build quickly and disrupt the market.
Yes. Like adapt fast and move fast.
Adapt fast, fail fast, move
Fail
fast.
fast, move fast. Yes. So Ronak, why do you think you're the right person to build this way?
Actually, I don't. Trust me. Trust me. I don't. I am like if I had to pick somebody to solve this
Your
problem.
investors might be watching this.
I'm open to discussion.
Okay.
Because I am building this out of frustration, bro. Trust me. Like I could get a decent job anywhere, have a very happy life. I'm having a very, I don't have any, sleep cycle. I don't have anything, bro. I'm just roaming around all the time. I'm out. I'm like away from my family. It's thrilling. But if I had to pick someone to solve the problem, I'll be the last person. Trust me. I would be the last person. I just saw that nobody is solving this. So I got into this. Dal, and I just, learned how to swim. And if I'm being technically correct, or from a situational perspective, I have seen the problem myself, faced in a very, very, poor condition, if I
Okay.
may say that. So I know exactly what it takes. I know the people who face the problem every day. So I come from a background where entrepreneurship is not even a career option. So I know an India that is different from the India that no, right now India is changing, but the people who build products like this, deep tech products generally, they don't know this India. And then enterprise thing and the other things that came later.
Like,
That
can you state any specific people, like examples or companies?
I can, but I won't actually. I want to avoid controversies. Uh, there are certain problems. I know people building crazy good solutions that are searching for a market. There's no point, and you have to also take into consideration about the purchase power parity of the audience. So our enterprise solution is vastly different from the D2C solution. Our pricing in India would be somewhat different from the pricing in the US.
Yes.
So you know why?
Yes, obviously.
So it's not that we are want to rob the customers, it's the value that we're providing them, the convenience. The cost of convenience in India is different from US. You know?
Yes. It's like very obvious on whatever platform you use.
Yeah, bro. New Jersey, so Newark
Even
airports.
in US itself depends on the city you're in. You have the difference of for two nations if you're talking about two cities.
I
It's
know, bro.
different in the Bay Area, it's different in the New York.
Absolutely. I agree. So that's the thing, man.
Interesting, Ronak, interesting. So, I mean, it's a very, fearful journey you had. Do you understand the core technologies, like the frameworks, like in how the unique part, how the micro architecture is built all by yourself? Or did you have someone who helped you figured out it for you?
See, a software is built by a team. A software is built by people.
Yes.
ठीक है. I had the concept, I had the idea. The initial the macro architecture was done by me only.
Okay.
All this microservice wala thing, how things would go. Then our very talented extraordinary engineers helped me कि यहाँ पे ये कर सकते हो, वहाँ पे वो कर सकते हैं. We have very very talented team. I can talk about Devaproto, I can talk about Bishal, we can talk about our ex-CTO Ronit. So with whom I started the company earlier in my early days. So even Shubro, he was but these folks they also have the same problem. They have the passion towards the problem. As I said, you have to love the problem. You can find very talented people out there who are good at solving certain problems you give them, but they can't find solutions to problems that they have to identify and then solve it. So that's how I'm lucky.
Do you think it's just because they're not skilled enough, or they don't have the right exposure in the industry?
You talking about me?
Yeah, co-founders. You just said they can't find the solution themselves, right?
No, see, it's not about the skill, yaar. They are, in their domain, they have the domain expertise. I felt that, or I and they felt morally. I didn't say anything to them. They felt that the domain is not fitting correctly, and it was also stressful. As you can see me that I have.
It's a hard journey.
It's
Not
a
everyone can
It's a
make it.
hard journey.
Yes.
And people have their own priorities.
Yes.
Like if I talk about Ronit, he's extremely talented engineer. If I talk about Shubro, AIML at he's so skilled in AIML at such a young age. It's very, very, very rare to see. But he has his own other priorities. He wants to solve some other problems at some other point of time. So people have to choose their journeys. And I'm very proud. See, people often get manipulated or get misguided and take wrong decisions. As I say that we always have two options: the right one and the easy one. I'm glad they took the right option, and
Like Fazza, the founder of Build Space. Are you familiar with the story?
I am somewhat familiar with the story. I know that recently they closed the company.
Yes. It was a very emotional letter. They were backed by A16Z and they had like a runaway for at least 6 months with $5 million in the bank account.
Trust me.
But-
This doesn't matter, because I'll tell you one thing. Money after it hits the account, you try to differentiate that मेरे life में क्या change हो रहा है. Nothing changes. nothing changes. It's about waking up every morning, opening your laptop, talking to your teammates कि क्या problem है, क्या solve कर रहा है. If you if you can't find something meaningful enough to solve, there is no point in working on that. If I think he might have felt that the problem that they want to solve has been solved, or they have solved it.
Yes.
So there's no point in working on it, because we only have one life. We live once. We can solve multiple problems if we had that fire inside us, or the passion inside us. So I think he did a very good job by A16 से हो गया, कोई भी हो गया, World Bank पैसे डाल दे, it doesn't matter. They are also human beings who are trying to make some profit. You also trying to give them profit and run your enterprise. It's give and take policy. Nobody is here to do philanthropy, trust me. So this is my opinion on this. So getting backed by someone helps you get the PR coverage. That's it. After that, it's the partners, the people who are working with you. As I said, people build companies. Good people make good companies. So you have to find good people around you who can help you. That's it. It's a very simple. These are very, very basic things that people generally don't look out for. You can't just define things by numbers, Excel sheets. I've talked to a lot of senior business people who have run enterprises, mid-level enterprises. They have certain Excel sheets with certain KPIs, certain benchmarks, that if I'm hiring someone, they
Yes.
should have this, have that. I've listened to them, but I never could, digest that thing totally, because I believe our AVPs, like the guys are supremely talented. Vishal Devoproto, even Moyuk in the front end, these guys are supremely talented. Trust me, because we are building a tech where you can't find the guidebooks. It's trial error, solving something, no reference point.
Yes.
So these guys have spent their years, months to solve on a very low salary. Very low salary. They have to take care of their families as well. And they took the risk to solve the problem. They trusted me. It's a very strong emotional bond that we are together as one, solving something for everyone. I rhymed. So that's the thing, yaar. I am
You
so
never
proud.
know what can go into the history books. This could be it.
No, bro. I don't look at life that way, because I'm here to have fun here. I have fun building this. I don't want to be remembered. Trust me. If I die, I'll die. I want people to forget, because something better will come. वो है ना कि अरे यार, मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ. पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है, पल दो पल मेरी हस्ती है, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है. ठीक है. तो वही बात है. अभी काम कर सकते हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बस वही.
Nice. Very interesting to know that, Ronak. It's a new perspective I gained right here.
हाँ, मतलब देख भाई कि कौन, मतलब doesn't matter 100 years down the line, nobody is gonna remember. How often do you talk about Thomas Edison with your friends? Do you?
I don't.
You can make memes out of him, that's fine, but you can't emotionally connect. And I believe nothing is more valuable than meaningful human relationships. People tend to go to the rat race and sacrifice all these things, and once they're old, they just regret. I don't want to do that. I found very good people, my friends around me, you guys, everybody. I'm happy how the way I am, and it gets me sad. Like, I'm satisfied to take the punch on the face, get up with the team, and do it again. That's it.
It's very interesting, Ronak. Very interesting. I don't think a lot of the founders, especially the new age generation founders, share that perspective. Most of the people are into, changing history books, the fame, the money, and I don't know.
That's definitely lucrative, bro.
Power.
That is definitely lucrative, bro. You need motivation, but motivation doesn't last that long. You need that why. Yeah, देख. Thing is कि if I wake up in the morning, आई एम लिसनिंग टू भाग मिल्खा भाग चलो भाई भाग तो क्या है कि ना आफ्टर सर्टन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू गेट बोर्ड आउट ऑफ दैट मोटिवेशन thing. You need a strong sense of purpose that I believe that you know the modern age founders lack.
Yes.
Not all, not all, but it is what it is. So if you have that sense of purpose ना बाकी जो चल रहा है चलने दो यार, ठीक है हो जाएगा, चल रहा है. And one more thing that I believe that new age founders, bhai, I'm not a successful founder, I can't comment on this, I'm also learning, is the sense of urgency. Sense of urgency is very, if you don't have a sense of urgency to do something, then it's very very difficult to actually build something, because if you assume that something will take 7 days, it generally takes 14-20 days.
Yes. Absolutely.
So if you take a timeline of 2 days, then maybe you can finish in 7 days. So ऐसे काम करना पड़ता है यार. It's very very difficult. It takes a toll on you. Trust me.
Yes, it does. So Ronak, I wanted to ask you one question specifically. So you have been through this exciting journey where you have been part of multiple programs at the Launchpad program, IIM Bangalore, IIT Bombay, Princeton, Stanford, and all. So I would like to, you summarize, give you, for you to give a summary of, people building solutions or working on problems or exciting things in general, something that excites consumers in the cloud tech industry or something that relates to them, founders who are working in such applications.
Can you rephrase? I'm so sorry.
My point being, these days, investors take a bet on the founder more than the company itself.
They always did.
They always did, and they always do. So not everyone, knows what to do. Not everyone has, the perfect environment, the family environment or the social environment to, you had the privilege to go to IIM Bangalore. You pushed through your limits and went to that. Maybe some kid from Dharavi or some kid from, I don't know, Tamil Nadu, Kashmir does not have the privilege to do the same. Get into those, this tier 1 knowledge level places. So what do you suggest to them? Where they should head and what they should do?
First things first, we need to understand what is reality. See, Mohit, merit is homogeneously spread across the globe. Resources are not. That's why I'm building Project X maybe. So the guys who have limited resources need to accept first. You can't complain. I don't have this, I don't have that. My father is not rich. Why my father isn't an investor? A lot of things happen. So if you know what you are doing, you have to be vulnerable, very vulnerable and shameless. Knock 100 doors, somebody will open, somebody. And people see, it's the statement that you made, na, I often get asked this same question. It's not like this, trust me. इंडिया में इकोसिस्टम बहुत अच्छा बन रहा है दिन दिन. सोशल प्लेटफॉर्म्स है. मैं छोटे से गांव से बिल्ड किया यार. I made so many friends, VC friends. I have friends in Harvard, Princeton. They're good people. Yeah. Most people are good people. Trust me. If people can sense why are you reaching out to them? Just for help, just to take something from them. If you genuinely reach out for help, genuinely to understand what they're building, love what they do, people help. Nobody turns down. Few people are generally busy, they can't reply. That's fine, somebody else could. It's fine. So इतना भी खराब सीन नहीं है. कश्मीर में भी नेट कभी कभी चलता है, चलो. कभी तो you can. Kashmir में there are lot of incubators right now. Startup India is doing a brilliant job.
Yes.
10 lakh grants is not a blessed thing. Yeah, you can build whatever you want. If you have the right team, you can educate yourself. You can get the things done. You have to. And one big problem that that was with me also. Key people tend to build a very very robust product and then launch, and then shit doesn't happen. Build something small. Validate, talk. You talk to users. Validate. Then get a few customers. Then slowly grow. ऐसा होना चाहिए. People तो एक बार बनाएंगे साला पूरा एकदम 1 billion users. ऐसे नहीं होता भाई. ऐसे नहीं होता because
they watch too much of social network.
हाँ?
They watch too much of social network.
They do यार. Another thing in the social era is that people don't talk to the customers यार. They don't. They think I'm Steve Jobs. I don't talk to the customer. and I'll build the right product. It
Steve
doesn't.
Jobs को quote कर दिया, the consumer doesn't know what he wants.
अरे यार भाई वो लिंक्डइन पे बायो डाल रहे थे भाई, ऐसा नहीं चलता भाई. मतलब सी, आई एम नॉट सेइंग ही वाज रॉन्ग. Consumers often doesn't know what they want. I did a lot of contextual inquiry during my research days at IIT Bombay. I know that, but it's something that people are willing to pay for. They love, understand the perspective as well. It Steve Jobs knew that he might have talked to the people around him,
The right people who are
right people
facing the
around
problem.
him, huh?
Yes.
Not the customers. After a point of time, you can't talk to the customers. Trust me, it's like you have such responsibilities in your head. It gets difficult, but you should have the right data points. You should often talk to the right people, your certain personas that you want to target, and then take it forward from there. That's how things work. So young entrepreneurs in the cloud tech space or any space, this is a fundamental thing. The resources are there spread around you. किसी को चम्मच से कोई खाना खिला देता है, किसी को जाके बना के खाना पड़ता है. खाना है भाई, आसपास ही है. It depends on the will. And if you are, many people think that complain that हम लोग नहीं बना पा रहे, ये नहीं है वो नहीं है. Most of the times they don't have a viable solution. Trust me, people don't have a viable solution. They just throw names, buzzwords, go to places, talk, make connections, but जब बेचने की बारी आती है ना, they fail because कहाँ पे है validation. अगर एक बंदा भी तुम्हारा प्रोडक्ट यूज कर रहा है, एक बंदा, and loves तो छोड़ो, if he likes it, then you have built something. अगर ये जीरो है, तुम 100 लोगों की टीम बना लो, $5 million रेस करो, A16 से सेक्वाया, ब्लूम, एक्सेल, किसी को भी ला दो, doesn't make a difference. You as an entrepreneur haven't made any difference. Raising money is part of entrepreneurship, but it's not entrepreneurship. That's why I have a lot of respect for Nikhil Kamath, Kunal Kamath. They knew what it is to do a good business. Raising a big check is not doing business. Building a product and making the impact is doing the business. People glorifying the funding rounds and all is good. No, not bad. It's a milestone. But the real work starts after that. Or that should be a part of the journey. You shouldn't take that as a milestone कि चलो मैंने फोड़ दिया है भाई. Because VCs are also humans, as you said, that they invest on people. You may be from Stanford. You know how much VCs lose money on these type of people.
Yes.
You know how Forbes 30 under 30 fraud thing.
Yeah.
So it's like this. You look at big names. Any country, super big names. Did Adani go to IIT? Did he? He didn't. Neither did he go to Stanford. I'm not quite sure if he did that. I don't see him that often in the campus.
Okay.
So, other than that, so कहाँ पे था मैं? हाँ, तो ये एक बात है. और देखो, हाँ, तो यूएस में भी सेम है. यू विल फाइंड लॉट ऑफ एंटरप्राइजिंग गाइज, यार, जुगारू बंदे होते हैं, काम जिनको बिजनेस करना पता है. टेक बनाना इज समथिंग, बिजनेस करना इज सम अदर थिंग. एंड एज अ फाउंडर, आफ्टर सर्टन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, आई थिंक अदर देन डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज, यू शुड बी अ जनरलिस्ट. स्टीव जॉब्स को देख लो, जनरलिस्ट.
What do you mean by that?
जनरलिस्ट मतलब तुमको सब थोड़ा थोड़ा आता है.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Master of one, ho nahi bhi ho, doesn't matter. You should be able to grasp the whole thing at once, because you are the one who is selling the thing at the end of the day.
This is CEO advice or is life advice?
Life advice भाई, तुमको हर जगह पे सेल करना पड़ता है खुद को. Every place you go to an interview, you're selling yourself. You go to college admission, वहाँ पे इंटरव्यू होता है, you're selling yourself. Merit है, ठीक है, merit is a part of yourself. You should be able to articulate what you are going to give that person. As simple as that. ठीक है. Unconditional things सिर्फ पेरेंट्स से होता है भाई, बस पेरेंट्स ही है. So life is very difficult. So a lot of founders don't come out of that shell. Real life जानते ही नहीं भाई. Trust me. People बैंगलोर में बैठे हैं, Bay Area is different. बैंगलोर में बैठे हैं, पापा के पास पैसा है, दिल्ली में बैठा है, बना रहा है भाई. क्या बना रहा है खुद को नहीं पता, ट्रस्ट मी.
डिल्यूजन चलता
डिल्यूजन
रहता
होता है बट डेलिलू इज द ओनली सोलुलू. सो फॉर देम.
है. डेथ और डिफाइन दोनों सब कुछ बहुत.
हाँ,
डिल्यूजन सबके लिए अलग होता है. किसी के लिए डिल्यूजन पकड़ा देता है.
वही तो मैं बोला, डेलिलू इज द ओनली सोलुलू. यार बोल बोल बोल, सॉरी.
No, I'm just saying some people stay in a delusion of understanding what the problem is, and they stay in that loop till they find something that actually solves a portion of that problem. And सबको लगता है पागल है, क्या कर रहा है, ठीक है, until unless he cracks it and everyone just starts running to the person. Then दूसरा delusion है जो किसी का नहीं सुनेगा,
ओके.
जो मैं बना रहा हूँ, मैं भगवान हूँ.
भाई, अरे यार देख, both is required to be honest. मतलब you should be realistic at points. अबे देख, the thing is that what thing you will take personally, what you will not is up to you, to be honest, because people like to give opinions. Everyone. Now you talk to the real people who have been entrepreneurs, who have been doing this, doing that. The real people, maybe who are business coaches. Even though that business coach term, I have a skepticism about that, but again, so but you have to talk to the right people to understand. And it's not a easy yes or no question. Trust me, it's a very complicated question. It's a very complicated matter altogether. So उसको वैसे देखना पड़ता है, केस टू केस बेसिस पे, because we don't know. There are no statistics that can define things like this. People have gone on to build, like अगर मेरे पास कोई आके ना बोलता भाई कि मैं Airbnb, I'm making Airbnb and I need 500k and you give me the money, I'll do this, do that. मैं देता ही नहीं. मैं बोलता इतना established एक होटल इंडस्ट्री है. How can you standardize the rooms? How can you do this, do that? How can you do that? Why would people pay for it?
Yes.
I would have never invested. And that dude didn't give up. Because he had validated in the initial days. He had customers that now every $23, if I'm not wrong, spent on globally, $1 goes to Airbnb. That's a big thing. And that dude is crazy, yaar, because while they were hiring their early customers, their early employees, like that dude was so desperate, he used to ask you, if you were about to die in 6 months, would you still join Airbnb?
Yes,
Or
yes,
live your
yes,
life?
yeah,
I'm like,
yes.
crazy, man. Crazy. So you have to be crazy at times. Even I am a crazy person. If you talk to me, like in certain topics, I have very strong opinions about something. Yet, if you have certain stats or something else to prove me wrong, I will be happy. But if you have an analogy and you want to prove it to me, I'll like say fuck off, man. Like as simple as that. And businesses are built on analogies, to be honest. जिसमें stat है वहाँ पे कोई like जहाँ पे already कोई proven stat है वहाँ पे कोई धंधा बना के बैठा है already. तो doesn't make a difference anyways.
Right about a lot of that, I guess.
भाई
Time will tell. Maybe decisions change for every person. That is true for one thing. What
people
works
change, yeah. Change is the only constant. You have to embrace the change. Everybody changes, yeah. Everybody changes. Opinions, thoughts, like your thought process, everything changes. And that's the beauty of life. You should consider that as a part of everything. Go ahead, yeah. I'm interrupting you.
It's cool, Ronak. It's just that there are so many decisions. Like we have so many founders and so many CEOs giving out advices, telling कि मेरा lifeline कैसा है, मेरा schedule कैसा है. But truth is, some things might work perfectly for them, and it goes against for you, and उनके लिए against it might go perfectly for you. They're like critical points. You need to be careful of these twists. A lot of these emerging founders, people building companies are like, नहीं Elon Musk ये कर रहा है, 7 company कर रहा है, मैं भी 7 company बनाऊंगा, एक साथ 7 company खोल दूंगा.
This is something Elon Musk wanted. This is something who Elon Musk is. I am not Mohit Challa. Mohit Challa is not Rounak Adhikary. Everybody is built different. And I believe self-exploration is a very important task. You should know who you are firstly. Things work differently for different people, yaar. ठीक है. We can't generalize. If we do generalize, that doesn't work. ठीक है. I work in a different pattern. I have my own different ambitions, different goals. If you try to mimic somebody, it can only take you so far. Trust me. That doesn't work out. You tell me about a successful CEO जिसने बोला कि भाई, you might read about successful case studies, successful things that gives you idea about market, idea about customers.
Yes.
Not about कि वो 5 बजे उठ रहे मैं 5 बजे उठ रहा हूँ.
Hmm.
It's a very you know generic journalism question. Like people ask all the news journalists कि आप कब उठते हो, क्या करते हो, to motivate people. I know successful people, successful CEOs wake up at 10, 11 in the morning, work till late night, or like go party, even do drugs, and have successful companies. Trust me,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. That's their life decisions, their choices. Somebody might be happy to die at 60, 40. Somebody might want a simple happy life and live till 80. It's up to them. It's how things work. You can't generalize. इसीलिए इतना कंट्रोवर्सी होता है. People try to generalize. There's no point in like generalizing things because we as a species are so diverse, and generalize करके कोई innovation तो आने वाला है नहीं. So it doesn't make any difference. Hope I'm making a point over here.
Yes, you are.
तो यही कहना है.
So Ronak, what were some apart from this thing, the good things, what were as like the people, what was like some amazing people you met along your journey, like totally unexpected for someone randomly coming out and doing stuff for you, or something that taught you a lot, that helped you change the company or set a direction for yourself?
Mohit, I'm again changing the flow of the answer that you might expect. But regarding this thing, I have a very strong opinion. It takes a village to raise a child.
What do you mean?
It takes a village to raise a child or a good man. It is the environment around you that makes you who you are. So you are exposing yourself to certain environments and you're being like that. Certain people do play very significant role in certain phases of your lives, in different perspectives. There are a lot of perspectives that make your character as a human being. So things are like this. So I believe people should suffer. Initially in the early days, people should suffer a lot, emotionally, not physically, maybe, yeah. So mentally also, to have a strong character. So I have had people who gave me the privilege to, they encouraged me or just exposed me to unknown waters, and I suffered. That's how somebody can't feed you, yaar. Somebody who nobody will just come and just work with me just because they like me. Doesn't happen. They can do you favors. Our advisors, everybody, they have shown me direction, helped me. But at the end of the day, it's you who have to take the decision, do your own stuff. Yeah. Suraj Kuncham, for example, Suraj, our CEO, crazy talented guy, and he is self-motivated. Trust me. I don't know what motivates him. He's like crazy motivated all the time, and he gets the job done. So he doesn't even ask you, "Hey, how much money will I get? How much things will I get?" But he just keeps on working. It's just because he loves the problem. You have to embrace these people again. But there are no certain people. Trust me. Maybe if you are, Mohit, if you are passionate enough, if you are clear enough, then the right people comes to you. They come to you. Even the investors advisors they come to you. They can sense that thing. As I said, कि first thing is to become a good human being, यार. बाकी चीज़ें ना, they fall into places. मेहनत करना है, अच्छा आदमी बन के रहना है. बाकी चीज़ें fall into places.
All right. Very interesting, Ronak. So back on track. I'm a tech person, and I would like to know on the working of the ProjectX.Cloud. Basically, how do you visionize, or basically how do you plan to expand the company, scale the company once you have a significant load of consumers coming in?
सो ऐसे देख भाई, सिग्निफिकेंट लोड ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स ऐसे ही नहीं आ जाते, तुमको टारगेट करना पड़ता है पहले, ठीक है.
Hmm.
सो वी हैव अ स्ट्रेटजी, वी हैव अ प्लान टू एक्सपैंड द कंपनी. स्टार्ट ऑफ विद सर्टन वर्टिकल्स. लाइक D2C में अलग प्लान है, तो वी आर स्टार्टिंग ऑफ विद एजुकेशन वर्टिकल, देन गोइंग टू द बैंकिंग सेक्टर,
Yes.
IT सेक्टर, जहाँ पे देर इज a very big need of solution like this. So we'll go slowly to the pilots, make the product more robust, you know. Then अभी इंडियन मार्केट में चालू कर रहे हैं हम लोग, बहुत जल्दी यूएस मार्केट में भी चालू करेंगे, बिकॉज द सेम नीड इज देयर. EU में विल स्टार्ट अ बिट लेटर, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ regulatory reasons we have to pass through a lot of regulations. I would prefer to do that after we have
All right.
some significant customer base in both the countries. It will be like easier there as well. So that's the plan as of now, and a lot of it depends on how much we raise this round actually, and how early we close this round. So that's another thing.
All right. So do you think the future of with computers and computing chips and everything getting cheaper, do you think in 100 years everything everyone is gonna have like a computers able to run all those operations, like the computing is gonna get that cheaper, or do you think cloud OS everything will be a cloud based internet connected world where you no longer need all these heavy processing chips, RTX 4050 and all that in your PCs? Like do you think it's like a hybrid, or do you think it's gonna bend towards one direction?
It has started getting hybrid already, and anything gets decentralized after a certain point of time. Anything you talk about, any sector, for instance electricity,
Yes.
it is decentralized right now.
Yes.
It was it decentralized 100 years back?
Probably not.
So that's how industries evolve. And compute में क्या है कि electricity में भी need has evolved, but for that main core thing has been distributed in a decentralized manner so that you can choose what you want. That's what we are endorsing with Project X. Maybe it's not fully, deviceless. We have something in the pipeline that is a bit confidential, that might be implemented in the very near future, but that's subject to a lot of funding actually, and validation of the current product in the market. Then we can see.
So Ronak, I have like couple of friends in college who are really good at video editing, designing, Blender, illustrations, animations, all that stuff. But they don't really have a great computer to begin with.
Right.
So they basically create illustrations in Blender, and that takes like 5 or 6 hours to render in like their laptops, and maybe like half an hour or maybe 50 minutes on a RTX 3060, my laptop. So can you define any specific, like with your end product, it's going to solve a lot of problems. Like that person, if he has a compute with his computer, without buying a new computer, without having the person to ask ask their father for a 1 lakh computer, they can just pay a 10 rupee, 100 rupee subscription to your OS and get this done. Can you
very
can you
easily.
like name any specific customers you come across as you?
The Blender ही बोला तूने, Blender में people can do it like very very easy. They just go log in. The Blender का demo भी है यार हमारा website जो है ProjectX.Cloud में. People can go and see that Blender is running smoothly. You can run it on any device, and render भी वही होता है क्योंकि हम server grade GPUs use करते हैं NVIDIA का. So they are very good यार. They are like very fast. And even if they don't want to design the thing on Blender, they can take the file, and transfer it to Infinity. It's a very it's like not pirating technically, but if they transfer the file to Infinity, just render there for like 3-4 minutes, the work is done, and they're not even spending like 2-3 rupees. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So does the same thing. I don't understand. I don't truly understand how the micro architecture, the processing works. But can I do the same for GTA 5?
हाँ यार, कोई भी कुछ भी चला देंगे भाई.
Like, can you explain for like a person?
Cloud gaming तो solved है भाई. Cloud gaming is an addition to our services.
So what is not solved? Like I don't understand what is stopping from the technology going.
End user computing जो है.
हाँ.
End user computing. There are legacy computer solutions. People buy computers, use them, throw them away, buy a new one. The cycle goes on. हमारा वो अभी the cycle will be longer. How the cycle could be closed, I have that idea in mind as well. It needs more validation. We have tried the POC of that. But यार मतलब end user compute जो है वहाँ पे बहुत सालों से कुछ इनोवेट नहीं हुआ था. The apps are going on the cloud. We have seen Figma being a web app so good. अभी Adobe का भी lot of solutions are there on the web.
Yes.
But not everything. And even to run heavy applications, you need certain compute power. And if you run many tabs on the computer as well, they lag. And after a certain point of time, the hardware gives up, यार. उसी को ही ठीक कर रहा है बेसिकली. उसको आसान में बहुत आसानी से लोग चीज़ों को यूज़ कर पाएंगे. दे विल स्पेंड मोर टाइम ऑन बीइंग प्रोडक्टिव देन फाइंडिंग अ वे टू बी प्रोडक्टिव. If that made sense.
It made sense, Ronak.
Yeah.
So I have one question. If I get like a 500 rupee keyboard, 200 rupee ka mouse, and a 500 or 1500 medium type or a Raspberry Pi 4, can I play GTA 5? Can I run Blender?
You can. Very easily you can.
So you're basically saying that Jio ka, even when Ambani launched the Jio phone for 2000 or 2500 rupees, people were like nuts. Like you have a 4G UPI, UPI enabled, video call enabled smartphone for 2000 rupees. So you're saying me, I can have a laptop that can run high-end applications, play video games, run Blender, do animations, video editing, all this Adobe suite for 2000 rupees.
2000 rupees for the infrastructure that you are buying. After that, you have to pay for the credits. We have plans since we don't have that capital right now. We want to have since education institutes are our partners. We want to have some subsidized plan for the students as well, so that it becomes even more cheaper for them to use certain application. Even want to get some subsidies from the government if possible for enabling these things. कि कौन सा कर सकते हैं नहीं कर सकते. तो you can do that. Per month खर्चा depends on your usage, to be honest. But it will be nowhere near buying buying a very good computer.
That's really interesting to know that I live with literally 1500 rupee, 1000 rupee setup of a Raspberry Pi keyboard mouse. I can start doing coding and whatever. Like at this point, I can just have remote computers placed at every house in my car, whatever, and that's interesting.
And also the accounts will be synced, so you can just stop something at your bedroom and continue the same stuff in your office.
Yes.
Or while you're traveling without carrying a real computer.
That's really interesting, Ronak. It's like portability to a next level. But can you give me an analogy or like a perspective on how the cost estimates work? For example, if I were to like get a 3050 RTX laptop with a decent Ryzen 9 or maybe Intel i7-99 at 1 lakh rupee, and maybe the laptop lasts for like 5 years, and I have maybe a 10,000 rupee setup of a Raspberry Pi or whatever processor with a decent monitor, keyboard and all that. So I have 90,000 rupees for the leftover with unlimited GPU, unlimited CPU, whatever I want to use. So can you give me the price point comparison of getting a laptop at 1 lakh, or should I get a 10,000 rupee laptop with a ProjectX or Infinity OS subscription for X years? Like how does it work?
First of all, you don't even need a laptop. If you have a tablet also, that works fine.
Okay.
Phone it's possible, but I won't recommend because of the screen resolution. Tablet works just fine. You can just get a keyboard and a mouse, bro. Decent tablet is 7,000-8,000 rupees.
Yes.
So let's suppose 10,000 rupees. You got a decent Samsung tablet or some MI tablet, and your budget is 1 lakh, 90,000 still left.
Okay.
How long do you plan to use that laptop? How long does typically those laptops
Max
last?
4 or 5 years.
Max 4 or 5 years.
The younger generation lasts 3-4 years. The older generation 8 years. Let's just say 5 years on an average.
Okay, median 5 years. You're saying. Okay, perfect. So, see, so you have to distribute the money into 5 years. 1 lakh in 5 years is how much? 20,000.
Yes.
Per year.
Yes.
So, even though we think we are on our computers all the time, we are not. You are browsing the web, but real productive activities of gaming, we do for a few hours only.
Yes.
Maybe 10 hours maximum, 20 hours a week, unless you are a professional gamer. Then the setup costs actually are much higher than the amount that you told.
Yes, actually yes.
Right. So, in that regard, if I talk, if somebody is using a lightweight application, it's 5 rupees an hour. If somebody is using a heavy GPU application that requires a lot of GPU, then it will be around 20 rupees per hour.
Okay.
Because, the GPUs were breaking them into pieces into the cloud and doing stuff like that. So, this is the key innovation, how we are able to decrease the cost
Okay.
of the compute actually. And if you know work for a few hours a day, maximum you can spend is 100 rupees if you are using heavy GPU applications and
Okay.
all. You can spend more. Like, and if you're a code developer, you can get a workspace as well with certain, like a workspace is like a Windows workspace or a Linux workspace. If you are a code developer,
Okay.
you can get that too with a decent amount of cost. You can configure that as well if you're a developer. So we have that flexibility as well. So you know, even if you're a very very heavy user, you can't typically spend more than 10-12,000 rupees a year. So you can see the
So
price difference is
let's
half.
say 5 hours per day, 20 rupee. I'm a heavy user. That's 100 rupees per day.
Aha,
And if let's say if I do that, I work for 20 days a month. So that is like 2,000 rupees.
2,000 rupees.
And we came with an estimate of the previous month. We had 12,000 per year. So 12,000 divided by 12 is 1,000 rupees per month. So I'm sorry, it was 20,000. 20,000. Okay.
20,000 rupees per year, you're saying.
Per year. So
Oh, yeah, 20,000 rupees per year, you are saying. If you are using heavy applications, one like for 5 hours a day.
yes.
Yeah. And you are saying 20. We are expecting you will work around 300 days uh, uh,
Per year.
per year. Yeah. So the cost will be around 10,000. I'll say why. Because all 5 hours you're not using a heavy application. How long will
Yes.
you render?
Yes.
How long will you work? If you are doing that also, you'll do that 3-4 days a week. We have the statistics that's how we mapped that out. And you are using Chrome, you're using something else.
Yes.
So Wahabi, it is like that only.
The math, seems to find out, works to find out. Well
20,000
enough.
is like very steep estimate.
Yes.
And even if you do that, you are not crossing the limit of your 1
It's
lakh.
like an upper bound.
It's like an upper bound. You can scale up, scale down based on your needs. That's
Okay.
the thing. You have the independence. You can choose your compute power. You can spend up to 2-3 lakhs also. If you want to do, run some heavy IML models, do some other stuffs, you can do that. You have that upper limit.
I feel the key differentiation partner is like institutions and corporate offices.
Absolutely.
Basically. They have computers sitting in and not doing anything for years and years, and they just get
That's why I
dusted.
talked about banks. That's why I talked about large IT companies, medium-sized enterprises, and this is how things work.
So Ronak, how do you see ProjectX.Cloud? Bridging bridging the digital bridge between the underprivileged communities and the urban side of the urban side of the world.
So the problem is constant across all the geographical regions. It's more avid in a few regions. It's less avid. The problem still remains कि यार देखो तुम्हारे पास कम पैसा है, कितना कम पैसा है, that's the thing. It's like this if I want to quantify the problem then that way. So in village the problem is totally different than the city for most of the audiences. So village we have different plans to penetrate the market and make a solution that will be affordable to all these people, and in the city or in the developed countries as well.
Yes.
It will be a different approach, a slightly different approach where there'll be a few more features that will help them enhance their accessibility of daily commute of daily computing actually. And as I was talking about the thing that they'll spend less time in finding ways to be productive
Yes.
in the computers and all. In the rural regions it's more about just getting access to certain applications. So even though both are intertwined, but the approach to solve both of these are different. So we have different channels of distributions and strategies of marketing and sales that will approach these two types of target audiences. As you know, that India 1, India 2, India 3, and
Yes,
and
yes.
everything. That's how we have different plans for all these type of audiences, and we are implying on those strategies. But right now, like since we are a very early company, we are focusing more on revenue generation for us to support those long-term goals so that we can actually make that impact.
So Ronak, have you thought maybe in a dream or maybe when your parents or your friends must have asked this in a way, do you know when you're going to take a break, like when you're going to exit from the company, or going to become something like a passive role, like when you're going to feel like, okay, this problem has been solved,
I was thinking about this yesterday only, yaar. As I said again in the earlier part of the podcast, that I myself am driven by the problem itself. I'm passionate about solving the problem. I have lots of other ways to make compute more accessible, more limitless for people. Maybe there will be some time when I feel that I have solved what I came here to solve, and about exiting or passing the baton to somebody else.
Yes.
If somebody, I believe, comes who can solve the problem in a much better way, who is there, who can take the responsibility, I would be glad. I have some other dreams as well. Bro, I really want to play the IPL. Trust me. I I have played professional cricket. I have played state level cricket as well. So I want to pursue that for a few years. Take some break after some point of time. Maybe that would be possible. Won't be possible. I don't know. That's a very ambitious goal. But I think things are possible if we are determined enough and have a very viable plan. So that's something I'm looking at. But I'm very passionate towards this compute platform because about the compute industry, because that's something I have been very deeply involved since my very early childhood. So probably this will be the industry where I'll be working for the. I can't imagine myself working in some other industry for at least in the near future. So that will be a very interesting thing to see. I don't know what time unfolds for both of us to see.
All right, Rounak, it has been a very interesting conversation with you about your journey and your insights on cloud computing and tech. So thanks for joining us, and until next time.
Sure, man. It was a pleasure talking to you.
I hope the next time you're in Visakhapatnam, you have a longer stay.
Absolutely, man. You should visit Bengal soon, yaar. I'll take you around.
Sure,
Places.
will do. So until next time, signing out.
Sure, man. Bye.
Hey people, thank you for staying to the last moment, and it has been an incredible journey for us to be here, start producing this. It has been what?
Okay. It's okay. So it's been quite a long journey, a journey of 8 months, more than 8 months. Each time we have been iterating with stuff, increasing the camera quality, increasing the light quality, increasing the audio quality as well. Every single time we have been iterating. So this is our goal. Our aspirations are very high, and it is there up to the marks of your Nikhil Kamath and your Mukesh Bansis, not your college peeps.
So I don't. It feels like a formality at this point when he passed me the mic. I'm Jay. I'm the creative director of this whole thing.
Without Jay, none of this would have been possible.
It has been a great journey overall. Hanging out with these guys, working together. It gives me the Silicon Valley feels.
I've never been there, but
I mean, we have seen shit like that. But
going there.
we started here from my room. We recorded right here
our Silicon Valley.
on that bed. We have a damn board with random bullshit. This table I just got, which is like 100 years old. This shit is so good, man. Feels grateful to have all of these, have people like you all around.
I still remember the day when we first had this idea of starting the podcast, about this entrepreneur-centric podcast for people like you, for giving out everything we ever can. But with us, there were so many people, and there was so much negative energy that you can't do a podcast. You need equipment, you need lakhs worth of cameras, you need editing and all that. But it took us a while. Took a lot of illegal scams. And a lot of energy and a lot of things we had to pull off, but here we are. I'm grateful.
A lot of stuff coming up. You're gonna see the greatest podcast ever after my podcast.
Just remember the name, the Build Club. Thanks for watching.
You got it right.
We'll see you in episode 2.
Love you.